What up, everybody? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I'm doing your weekly forecast for the week that starts June 16th, 2019. So the 16th through the 23rd of June, 2019. Well, I wanted to let you guys know that I do have some readings that are on special right now. The last half of 2019 readings. So what this is, the year's already halfway over. We still have half a year left. We have eclipses. We have Mercury retrogrades, plural. They're going to be in water signs once again, very emotional. So, and there's a lot of other important transits too that I can look at in your personal chart for the last half of 2019. So if you would like that, that is a special I have going on right now. Also, Skype readings are on sale for 30 minutes or an hour. They're discounted right now. Love and romance readings for singles if you want to see who you attract and why and how and all that jazz. If you're trying to find yourself a summer boo and you want to know, like, what does your astrology chart say about, who you should be looking out for and the timing of relationships and stuff like that for you. That's what the love and romance reading is. I have readings on the eclipses that are coming up in July very soon. Only in the next couple of weeks, the first eclipse is going to hit of the summer. So if you want to know how those affect you, I have readings on those. And also I have a class that I'm doing. Yes, it's going to be ASTRO LINGO 101. It's on June 26th of 2019. So I will have the link to that below as well, where you guys can go and sign up for that. So pretty much that class is for anybody who's a beginner to astrology. You don't know anything beyond your sun sign. It's just talking about the language of astrology and explaining some of the terminologies that we astro nerds use all the time so that you can understand things like the posts that we all put up and, all the little wordings and stuff that we use all the time, the lingo, the language. So once again, that's on June 26th of 2019. So you can sign up on my website. So I will leave the link also below. Okay, so now that those little announcements are out of the way, what's going on this week? Well, I am doing this a little bit later in the week. So I'm not going to go over the moon transits. We've already passed those, but we did have a full moon in Sagittarius though. So I will let you guys know what's up with that because the effects of the full moon can last at least for a couple of weeks, So how is this going to affect you? Well, I did post on my Instagram about it. If you follow me on Instagram, it's at Cosmic Homegirl. And I have a highlights stories little reel, I guess you say, a highlight reel. I don't know, like it's film or whatever. But anyway, I have a little highlight button that is for horoscopes. So if you want to go in there, I do post, generally like how the lunar phases and different transits are going to affect you. So you can go check that out for the full moon in Sagittarius if you're curious about how it affects your sign. But that full moon in Sagittarius though, it was in a wide conjunction to Jupiter. I mean, it's in the same vicinity. Jupiter's like along with it, right? In the same sign. And we had an opposition. Well, it's a sun and moon opposition. And then we had a wide square to Neptune as well. So what does this mean? Well, Jupiter and Neptune are the dreamer planets. They're actually exactly squaring each other this whole month, like very closely. So all may not be what it seems, and there could be open doors to deception sometimes with this type of a transit by itself. And then when we have the full moon involved, well, there's a few things that this could do. Number one, on the negative side, there could be some things that are, there's some things that are illuminated, right? Because the moon is a luminary, the sun is a luminary, they bring light to our earth. And so when we're talking about symbolically what they do for us in our lives, they illuminate things. So there's some Jupiter things that are illuminated and some Neptune things that are illuminated. Jupiter can deal with stretching the truth sometimes and just kind of being overly optimistic and, having too much blind faith in things. And Neptune can kind of deal with the same things, like having blind faith in things and in people. And only wanting to see the good in people, and maybe people only presenting themselves in a certain way that to where you only see the good and you never see some things that you should know about them. You know what I'm saying? There's like some things about them that are hidden in the fog. Like it makes me think of the movie Zoolander, the first one, where Hansel had to have like a fog machine. Like he had to have a DJ and an entourage behind him at all times and a fog machine. So Hansel must be like a Pisces or have some Neptune in the mix in his chart because of all the fog he liked to be surrounded with. You know what I'm saying? So there could be some people that or some situations that have a fog surrounding them, and this full moon can illuminate those things. There is a potential for us to just kind of run with things and not fully look at the details and the consequences. But I feel like the positives of this full moon, even though it has challenging aspects, a conjunction, well, it's a very wide conjunction to Jupiter is not a negative thing. It's very strong Jupiterian Sagittarian energy, but at the same time Jupiter is retrograde, so it's not really delivering as strongly as it would as far as like blessings and abundance and opportunities. And then with the square to Neptune, well, like I said, Neptune is illusion, delusion, and all that, but it's also belief in things, and you're a dreamer. Like you have a dream, you want something to work out, you have to dream it up, you know what I'm saying? And so both of these planets rule that in their own ways. So with the full moon, I guess the challenge is seeing like, well, what's really attainable and what isn't, really believing in things, and when you do, like, you go after them. But along with this full moon period, we do have some reality checks that can happen with Mars and Mercury in Cancer opposing Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. Capricorn energy is all about those reality checks, okay? It's all about those teachable moments, to give you some type of lecture or lesson from some form of authority. Okay. So, anyway, yeah, there's the risk of that's involved, grounding and facing reality. So the full moon, yeah, it could bring some awesome stuff. It's in a party sign, which is Sagittarius. And I don't know about you guys, but yeah, the weekend of the full moon, I noticed that I was in like an escapist mood. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a lot of heavy things going on, and I just wanted to escape from them and be the Sagittarian runaway, you know what I mean, along with this full moon. And I know several other people were feeling that too, and wanting to participate in escapist activities. I mean, mine, fortunately, were just, spinning some records and trying to forget about my problems through music for a while. But, whatever you do is whatever you do, okay? But yeah, so that's what the energy was that we were tapping into. And that can continue over the next couple of weeks. And then, wherever it affects you in your life personally, of course, depends upon your chart. And once again, I do post a little something on my Instagram horoscope stories, if you want to check that out, to see like where it's illuminating things, where there could be illusions that are shattered. What I noticed personally with this full moon, well, it had a square to Neptune, but also it was right on my natal Neptune. I have Neptune in Sagittarius, and it did shatter some illusions that I had, like something that I was a little too idealistic and optimistic about, and really just like very Neptunian, something very Neptunian in nature. Let's just say that, very like romantic, and a perception of something, and a dream of something that I had. It really illuminated the truth of the situation and shattered that Neptune illusion that I had, to help kind of move forward and see the light of other things that could be going on in my life, besides following an illusion. You know what I'm saying? So that could be other people could be experiencing that too, with transiting Neptune, making that aspect. Okay, so now let's continue to talk, all right, about this right here. Okay, so we have the 18th and 19th, we have the moon in Capricorn, and it's lining up actually with this Mercury and Mars conjunction right here. So we have this conjunction of Mercury and Mars together, and then they are opposing Pluto. Mercury opposes Pluto on the 19th, and then Mars inches towards that 22nd degree as well. And you see Pluto's 20 degrees of Capricorn, so anything that's 22 degrees of Cancer is directly opposing it. So that's what's going on. So this is what, and then we have the moon involved too, at least in the wee hours of the morning, where I'm at, which is the west coast of the US, Pacific time. It may be like later in the morning in the eastern parts of the world or whatever, but yeah, so the moon is here too. We've got this cluster of planets standing off against each other. So what this can do is, okay, first of all, let me say, my cardinal sign people, Aries, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer, I really feel for you guys. A lot of you guys are going through some things. You do feel like this. Look at the red lines. The red lines here. That's like the energy. It could be kind of angry and frustrating and tense because this is an opposition. It's push pull. It's back and forth. It's teeter totter. It's like this way or that way. No, this side. No, this side. No, this side. No, this side. Like that could be an outer conflict, like you versus others going back and forth, or this can be internal for a lot of you. Well, for all of us in general, no matter what our sign, but the cardinal signs especially, like, you know, Cancers and Caps, I feel for you. Aries and Libra, I feel for you, because you guys are being like squared off by this energy too. So you guys may feel like there's a lot of pressure on you. You know, there's a lot of pressure on you to do something, to make some move, to make some major change, to transform something, because Pluto is a planet of transformation. And sometimes it has to be like the phoenix bird, you know, something is burned down to ash in order to rise from the dead. You know, something is destroyed in order to be rebuilt. I think Saturn and Pluto can both deal with that in their own ways. So, and this Mercury and Mars, Mercury is how you communicate, and Mars is anger and frustration. Yeah. And you know what? I have people in my household that have cardinal sign energy very strongly, especially they're all Libra. I have someone that has Mars in Libra. I have a Libra sun and a Libra rising in my house, and they've all like at different points of the day been frustrated and tense. Like my Libra rising is my youngest kid, and he was just like having a little fit and crying, and when I'm like, what's wrong? Nothing, it's nothing. Just like cry, and I'm like, if there's nothing wrong, why are you crying? My George Lopez voice, why are you crying? And he wouldn't tell me, and I'm like, you need to go off and just chill. And that's what I had to let him do, go off and just chill, stomp off, you know. And then the person that has Mars in Libra, they had their little attitude all day, you know what I'm saying? And then the Libra sun person, they're more like, they're super chill, but they still were like, some things need to be confronted. So, you know, a lot of people are feeling like confrontational and agitated. The 19th and the 20th are especially challenging, let's just say, especially challenging days with this energy. So Mercury, communication, Mars is anger, so people are expressing things, or being more direct. You know what I found for me is like this energy here gave me like the most horrible headaches the last couple of days. If anybody else feels this, let me know. But like, it's, you know, Mars, it rules the blood, it rules the sign of Aries, which rules the head, you know, and then Mercury is the mind. It doesn't necessarily rule the head itself physically, but still, like, man, it gave me the worst freaking pounding migraines out of nowheres. And it's just been really annoying. But yes, I have noticed more direct speech and communication with people. And this energy is this opposition. You know, I saw there was an article posted, one of the worst days of the year astrologically. Yeah, it can be, because check this out. You know, Mercury and Mars together can be driving aggressively and angrily. And then we have the opposition to Pluto. Pluto can rule violence and injuries. You know, Mars and Pluto, when they are challenging each other, they can rule, yeah, like having some sort of injuries or something like that. Or Mercury is the hands, and Mars is anger and aggression, so people can be speaking angrily and aggressively, but also like there's a possibility of like more fights and stuff, and they can end pretty violently because of the opposition to Pluto. So I would say, everybody, especially on the 19th, 20th, please be careful out there. Be careful driving. Don't get involved in road rage situations. This is in the sign of Cancer, which is very emotional. It's driven by emotions, and it's not going to think about things logically. It's just going to be like, well, this is how I feel, so I'm just going to do this based on how I feel, and my feelings are important. So, it's going to be like logic, who, what, we don't know her. So just be very cautious when driving. Be very aware and alert of the people who are driving around you. Okay. This can be struggles between, this is power struggles. This can be matters of home, which is Cancer, versus matters of business, which is Capricorn. And actually, in my own household, yes, this has come up. This has been discussed. Matters of home versus matters of business. Being Susie Homemaker versus being the businesswoman. There have been some of those discussions that have come up. Indeed. So yeah, the 19th and the 20th, hot spots for this, especially the 19th, because the moon is involved. The moon rules our emotions. It rules the sign of Cancer. Then it's opposing Mars, opposing Mercury, opposing this. You know what I'm saying? It's with these two very harsh planets. So it could be a day where people are pushy and wanting things to get done and very business minded. And taking no excuses, there's no exceptions to the rules, for a lot of people. But you know what? There can be a positive with this opposition, though. This is very passionate. This is very passionate, driven energy. It's very, I've noticed that myself and a group of friends were very gung-ho about getting things done, planning some things out and executing them, and wanting to just get them done, and the sooner the better. Okay, we're gonna do this now. Okay, we're gonna do this as soon as possible. So and it's not wanting to hesitate or waste time. It's very passionate. Mars and Pluto opposition is having tunnel vision with the actions that you want to perform, and then Mercury and Pluto opposition is the same thing, but it's more with your thoughts and strategically planning things out. And then Mars is the execution of the plans and carrying them out, physically actually doing them. So yeah, it's very tunnel vision, very driven. And then Saturn is in the mix here, which is about grounding yourself and hard work, and just sitting down and dedicating yourself to what you got to do, your responsibilities. This can lead to, on a negative side, reality checks from authority figures. Okay, because Capricorn is authority. It could be the government, it could be the police, it could be, bosses or parental figures, anybody above you that you can get in trouble with. So just be very aware of that, and be aware of the consequences with this energy. So yeah, we have the moon continuing to be in Capricorn on the 19th, and then I think on the 19th is when it shifts into Aquarius. The 19th in the evening, or it could be the 20th, wherever you're at. So the moon, it inches away from Pluto. Moon and Pluto earlier in the day in the 19th, that can cause a little paranoia. Moon, Pluto, and Saturn, that can mean you're feeling you could feel kind of stunted in a way, kind of stifled and stuck, and you have to be glued to your responsibilities and glued to the rules and not want to bend the rules, which can be good for getting a lot of work done, good for anything that requires a lot of concentration. But this can make you feel a little down and a little down and out for some people. Oh, everything is so tedious. Everything is such a huge task. I don't know if I could really get this done and get it done in a timely manner. You know what I mean? So the moon is your, your emotional feelings and your attitude and stuff. So we can be feeling some of that on the 19th, early in the day, in the morning. Then, yeah, we get to the evening. We got the moon in Aquarius. This is more emotionally detached energy, which can actually be good for cooling off some of this Cancerian energy with Mars. Mars is very heated It's aggression and anger and rah, so this is how people could be speaking, but in an emotional way. And Aquarius moon is like just floating there, just like an alien floating there, just observing human life below, dissecting, why do humans do this? And if they feel this way, why do they make this move, but not participating in it? You know what I'm saying? So that's the moon in Aquarius. It's looking at things from like a more scientific point of view, where you're probing and dissecting and stuff like that. So with that, you are we can detach ourselves emotionally from any heated situations with this opposition, and just kind of look at them in a more logical point of view, because the air signs are all about logic. So especially Aquarius, it's rises above any type of emotions and puts them to the side to look at all the facts and stuff like that. So moon shifts into Aquarius on the 19th. Now on the 20th, we still have the moon in Aquarius. The moon actually like early in the day on the 20th, and like super early. And then throughout the day, it's going to make a square to Uranus, moon square Uranus. I mean, this is nothing too major. And then Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius. But these two squaring each other, Uranus rules like sudden unexpected things that can happen or pop up, or information, or it rules technology, the internet. So Uranus rules that, so does Aquarius. But yeah, the moon emotions square Uranus. This is erraticism. There could be a lot of like erratic behaviors that go on, erratic feelings and stuff. And even though this isn't cool, detached Aquarius, Uranus is like zapping the moon pretty much, which is our emotional states. So it can like kind of, jolt us a little bit from like one emotion to another. And moon and Aquarius days are really good for just like thinking outside the box, coming up with lots of different ideas, thinking a lot beyond the norm. And so that's the moon in Aquarius when it's going to be squaring Uranus. So this could bring out the inner weirdo in a lot of people. Okay, so on the 21st, this is when we have the sun is at the last degree of Gemini in the morning. The last degree of Gemini, 29 degrees. So we're preparing to say goodbye to Gemini season as far as the sun being there. We still have Venus tagging along in Gemini. So it's not like there's just completely just no more Gemini in the sky. It's all about Cancer. Woo! No, we still got Venus hanging out. But yeah, the sun in Cancer, sun enters Cancer on that day. The moon continues to be in Aquarius. It's not really making too many crazy aspects to stuff. It's just floating along in the sign of Aquarius on the same day that we have the sun shift into Cancer. So sun in Cancer, sun's going to be here in Cancer through July, I believe through July 21st or 22nd. When does the sun go into Leo? Yeah, through July 22nd. So June 21st to July 22nd is the sun in Cancer. So that's going to illuminate Cancerian themes for all of us, which is diving way deep into our emotions and being concerned about family. Matters of home come up more, your roots, get-togethers to celebrate family, and going back over memories, childhood memories especially. That's totally all Cancer energy. Being the water boy, but mama always said, mama said, Forrest Gump. mama said, being all about your mama, or whoever your best closest maternal figure is. That can mean like an aunt, a grandmother, even a friend that you consider to be like a mom friend, that like schools you on things, or gives you that maternal vibe, if you're missing it elsewhere. It's all about the mamas. So yeah, this is maternal energy, highly emotional, having baby fever, connecting more to children and family is pretty much Cancer energy. And also being comfortable and secure is Cancer energy. Whoever or whatever brings that. This is the thing I would advise with all these planets in Cancer hanging out like the last like about the last week of June, let's say. Make sure that you are being very personal and personable with people, that you let them know that you care about them, that you not just send a text message or something or a DM on an app. Take the time to actually talk to people on the phone, to call them or to show up, go to their houses. Show people that you'll really go all out for them. Not saying allow yourself to be a doormat and just like get walked all over from doing anything and everything for someone. I'm talking about your closest loved ones. Make sure that you show them that you truly care about them. Do some things for them. Give them some nurturing energy. Cook for them. Bring food. Cancer is a foodie sign. This is a sign of motherhood, which is nurturing and nourishment. So that's why it's that sign, and food for comfort is Cancer energy too. So share a good meal with someone. Ask them how they're doing. Don't send no WYD texts during Cancer season. Okay, you guys don't know how bad that WYD gets on my nerves. Oh my gosh. There's a couple people I let slide though, because they actually engage in real conversations, but there's just some that all they do is they just send, hey, WYD. Oh, that's cool. It's very bland and dry, and that's it. No emotion, no like real response, no real conversation. No, don't let that. Don't do any of that during Cancer season. It's not gonna fly very well. It hasn't. Mercury's been in Cancer for a while already. So has Mars. And I'm not a Cancer. I don't have it strong in my chart anywhere. But it's really irked my nerves even more during Cancer season for people to send those stupid damn WYD bland texts, nothing too personal behind it. I even had to tell somebody, you don't even really talk to me. Like you don't and then all you do is send a WYD and like some superficial stuff and ask things of me, like tell me what you want from me, and like that's it. Like, come on now, dog. Come on, man. That doesn't fly during Cancer season. Cancer is about being personal and personable with people. How are you doing? I'm concerned about you. How is your family? How is your mother? How are your kids? Like, those are the conversations people want to have more of during Cancer season, but making it more personal, So yeah, that's my advice for the sun being in Cancer. Show people that you care. Knock on their shell if they don't answer their damn phone or text messages. And you really do care about them, and you guys are actually like cool like that, not somebody that you don't know. Like, don't go stalking them and jocking them and stuff. But somebody that you're actually cool with, you actually know, like, check up on them. Let them know, hey, I'm trying to check up on you. You didn't answer your phone. Okay, well, you know what? I stopped by just to make sure you're good. So I trust me, I know I've had a lot of Cancers very close to me in my life, and that's the type of stuff that they talk about, that they like. So this is an overall energy for all of us as a collective. And just remember that. Don't do those stupid WYD that just sit there and that's all it is a damn WYD. Please don't do it. Okay. But yeah, the moon continues to be in Aquarius on that day. Sun in Cancer. So moving along on the 22nd. So this energy, remember, this Mercury and Mars thing, it still continues throughout the week. Okay, it still opposes, these two planets and everything. But yeah, so Sun in Cancer. Now the 22nd, the moon moves into Pisces. So we have moon in Pisces, Sun in Cancer, Mercury and Mars in Cancer. Very emotional weekend, I would say. Very emotional weekend, a good weekend to tap into some music, of course, because the moon is in Pisces. Into some music, some dancing, some art, maybe watching movies, escaping through that. If you like to read fantasy, like books or articles or anything, doing some photography or some videography. looking at photos, especially with Cancer energy ruling memories. And then Pisces energy, it likes visuals and, photos and stuff. So it's a good weekend to like go over some photos, some old photos, or take some photos if you have a camera or a camera phone. Like, just see the beauty in the world. So yeah, that's what this energy is. But yeah, the moon will be in Pisces the whole weekend. And then we've also got Neptune retrograde. I forgot to talk about that. So pretty much Neptune is retrograde for several months throughout the year. I forgot to get the date. I want to say it's retrograde until like November. I think it goes retrograde for like 5 months or so, roughly. Actually, I have an ephemeris here, so let me be a nerd real quick. So how long is Neptune retrograde? Yeah, through November. I was right. So it goes direct again the end of November. But while it's retrograde, it could be clearing the fog, could be clearing the air to where you see things so much clearer than when Neptune was moving direct and doing its thing, what it normally does. The retrograde can be like turning the fog machine off, and it starts to clear away, and you're like, oh wow, a whole new world. Like, I never knew the world, like this was the truth, or wow, I had been fooled about blah 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 this whole time. Some people may already be feeling that. But yeah, it goes retrograde though this week, and that's what can be going on over the next several months. It may not be being aha moment like that, because this is a slower moving transit, but there can be some more truths that come to light during Neptune retrograde. Okay, so yeah, and then the moon is in Pisces also, so I mentioned that. Moon's in Pisces the rest of the weekend. Now we do have this opposition between Venus and Jupiter happening on the 23rd. And at the same time, it may not be exact, but it's still making a square aspect to Neptune. So over the weekend, especially on the 23rd, we'll have the moon with Neptune. We'll have a Venus Jupiter opposition, and it's also squaring the moon and Neptune. So this could be a weekend like that is really good for art, and doing anything creative to like get our emotions out. Or if you're not an artist yourself, like if you don't create art, it's appreciating it, listening to music that really takes you emotionally to different places and takes your mind to different places. This could be getting caught up in fantasy. I mean, one way or another, good or bad, This can be, if you are going out this weekend, you're meeting new people, this could be like, whoa, like being very idealistic when it comes to love. And when it comes to attraction and meeting people, it's like, it could take you by surprise. It could be magical, but at the same time, there could be like some red flags that you're not seeing, or maybe Neptune being retrograde is going to be able to help us to see the red flags a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but this Venus Jupiter opposition, this can be very idealistic and optimistic when it comes to love and money. It can cause us to spend a little more frivolously. Like if we have it all and we've got like, millions in the bank when we don't, it can make us feel like that. Like, hey, there's plenty for everybody. It'll be replaced. No worries. Yeah. When it comes to love, it is very much like you just want to be in a state of bliss, with another person. This can be a great time to escape, do some escapism stuff with another person. If you have like somebody solid that you're with, maybe going on a little trip, traveling away, because you want to travel in the mind too. But yeah, so this could be a very romantic energy over the weekend, but there can be some challenges though. Maybe this can be kind of overdoing it with anything to do with love, money, the material world. It could be overdoing it and not seeing the consequences of it. And it's in Gemini, which is a little trickster energy, so don't let anybody deceive you. If you meet people over the weekend and you think, oh my God, they're so awesome. Hey, there's a chance that when the fog clears, as Venus progresses through Gemini and, gets away from these two planets, maybe you'll start to see somebody and be like, ooh, like, never mind. I saw an illusion, you know what I mean? So that could be a challenge this weekend. But yeah, the moon continues to be in dreamy Pisces the whole day. People may be extra sleepy, like sleepier than usual. It could be harder to wake up. Or you might be knocking out at an odd time when you're supposed to be like awake and doing stuff. Like, yeah, it looks like really late at night in the eastern part of the world, or into the next day. And also like kind of late in the evening on the west coast of the US. The moon and Neptune align exactly. This is really good for spirituality, poetry, music, art, movies, reading, fantasy, all that stuff that I talked about earlier. It's really good for diving into that, taking a long bath, taking a salt bath, a sea salt bath, just to like release a lot of energy, because we've got the sun in Cancer, we got all this stuff in Cancer, which is water sign energy. It collects all kinds of emotional crap throughout the day. So with this moon in Pisces, this makes you just want to sink in the bathtub and just like lay there and not move, and maybe watch something while you're in there, or have candles and all the magical stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Pisces energy is all about that. What I've noticed about moon and Neptune days in Pisces is also they are days where the veil between the spirit realm is a lot thinner. So if you want to do any type of work, spiritual work, the answers may be more clear to you. Or if you want to connect with anyone in the spirit realm, however you do that, there's a greater chance of you actually being able to have clearer communication with them. Logical, down to earth communication with people here on earth may not be as clear under this transit, like, on the 23rd in the evening. But still throughout the day, this is building up, so it still counts. Yeah, you may not be so logical with things. Your mind will trail off. You'll be a space cadet. But still, it's like, yeah, it can be a good day to connect with animals, spirituality, and art, and so on and so forth. So that's what it is this week, you guys. Just really on the 19th and the 20th, the energy is just like raw. Okay, it's super raw. That could cause a lot of conflicts and issues and fights and stuff. So just be safe out there. Try to keep a hold of your anger and your aggression, and from speaking it with such a sharp tongue. Okay, like try very hard to keep that under control. And if others are wilding out around you, just really try hard not to participate, because it's this transit, it's the energy in the air. People are responding to it in different ways, and you don't have to. You have a choice, so you can back away and be like, you know what? I'm not going to tap into this energy this way. I'm going to divert it and direct it somewhere else and use it in a different way, like maybe getting some tasks done and being super passionate about getting those things done, or maybe having to protect what's yours in a very passionate way, somehow, some way. But that's it, you guys. Happy early birthday to my early born Cancerian people. If your birthday is like the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, happy birthday to you. Happy solar return. And thank you guys for watching. Just, take care of yourselves out there, especially my cardinal signs. I really feel for you guys and send you a big hug. And don't forget, I do have the specials on readings, and don't forget about my ASTRO LINGO 101 little class that I'm holding on the 26th of June. And it will be live. There will be opportunities for Q&A live only. It will be available for replay. You can purchase and download the replay afterwards. But the advantage of live is you get to have live discussion, like live question asking, mad question asking during the actual live stream. So take care, you guys. Have a wonderful week. Do your best to navigate through the energies as well as you can. And I will see you guys next week. All right. Peace.